What if I told you that passing your AWS certification exam has nothing to do with how many videos that you watched, how many services that you've memorized, or how many courses that you've bought, and everything to do with the system that you use to study? When I was getting my own AWS certifications, I passed in less than 7 days. Meanwhile, I was noticing my co-workers with the same level of experience as me, or sometimes with even more experience, they were taking 6 months to pass the exact same exam. I was not smarter than them. I was not studying more hours than them. But I did build a system that nobody else was using. I'm Suleiman. I've been in tech for more than 11 years. Today, I run my own cloud AI consultancy, my software company, StudyTech.ai, and through my academy, I've helped more than 900 IT professionals, engineers, and career switchers get AWS certified and land six-figure roles, including at companies like AWS and Microsoft. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact system that let me and the top 1% of AWS learners get certified without even trying hard. You can literally take this blueprint, apply it to any AWS exam, and pass with a score of 178%. But first, let me explain the broken playbook that 99% of AWS learners are following without even realizing it. It goes something like this. You decide that this is the moment that you're finally going to get certified. You search on YouTube, you read a few Reddit threads, and you end up on Udemy or Coursera. You see those $30 courses that promise that you're going to become a cloud engineer, and it all sounds amazing until you log in and realize there's a 40-hour course that you have to go through. Now, most people don't even make it past this stage. That in itself is too overwhelming, so they never even start learning. And you'll know watching this right now if that person is you. But some of you do get past that, so you sit down and do what every busy professional does. You run the videos at 1.5x speed while you eat lunch. You're playing it in the background and you're not really focusing because it's so long, right? You'll tell yourself that the important stuff is sinking in, but the reality is that it isn't. Then the truth hits. You realize that if you actually want to remember any of this, you need to take notes. So now you're on another platform trying to piece things together. Then you hear active recall is the best way to learn, so you build out flashcards. You then jump into ChatGPT and prompt it to build you a customized study plan, but it hasn't even got any context on you, and then you realize you can't walk into the exam cold. So you go pay $100 for mock exams on another platform. Then you find out that the free practice questions on YouTube aren't even close to the real exam. So you pay for another set. And worst of all, none of the tools and services that you use are even personalized to you. You've got 6 tabs open, 4 tools, 3 different platforms, 4 different subscriptions, and your actual time spent learning has shrunk to about 20% of the time that you're sitting at the desk. The rest is troubleshooting the process and system of learning. So the weeks pile up. 3 months in, you still don't feel ready. 4 months in, you've lost momentum. 6 months in, life gets in the way. The exam voucher that you bought has almost expired, and you start questioning whether this certification thing was even worth it. That is not a lack of intelligence or effort. You're just following the wrong playbook. And it's the exact spot that I was in before I figured out what I'm about to show you next. So here is the actual process. It's broken down into 4 steps and it works on every single AWS exam. Step 1. Take a mock exam before you study anything. The mock exam is not a test, it's a diagnostic. Instead of seeing it as the final step before the real thing, you're going to start by testing just how much you know before you commit to learning anything. I did this with my Solutions Architect professional exam and I scored about 55% on the first try. And that told me exactly which 35% that I had to learn to pass the exam. If you skip this step, you'll be wasting weeks studying things that you already know. The mock exam highlights your knowledge gaps, and I need you to remember that because the entire system depends on this principle. Step 2, focus on your knowledge gaps. Every AWS exam is broken into domains. For Solutions Architect Associate, you've got secure architectures, resilient architectures, high-performing architectures, and cost-optimized architectures. Every question on the exam maps to one of those 4 domains. When you finish your diagnostic exam, break your score down by domain. Don't look at the overall number, look at the breakdown. You might be sitting at 85% on resilient architectures and 30% on cost optimization. That tells you that your entire next block of study should be cost optimization. And this is where you break the course buying habit. You don't need a 30-hour curriculum. You need 2 hours of focused material on your weakest domain, a round of quizzes on it, and then you move on. The goal here is to lift each domain to around 80%. Just think of like being very precise and meticulous, just like a surgeon would during an operation. Step 3, force your brain to retrieve, not just receive. Here is where most people lose months without even knowing it. They study by rewatching videos and highlighting notes. And while it feels productive, nothing ever sticks. Your brain doesn't remember what you're consuming passively. Instead, after you finish learning a topic, close the tab and try to summarize the key ideas from memory. Literally, take a piece of paper and write down everything that you know about the topic. Build out flashcards with questions and answers that force you to actively recall your knowledge. The key in step 3 is to move away from consuming into retrieving. Step 4, let the data tell you when to sit the exam. The last piece is the one that almost nobody does. Most people book the exam based on a good feeling and a few mock exams. Or worse, they never even book the exam because they're afraid that they're not ready. That's probably you watching this video. Instead, let us use a data-driven approach. Every mock exam that you take, write down the overall score and the score by domain. After 3 or 4 mocks, you'll start to see a pattern. Maybe your resilient architecture score was 60%, 70%, 78%, 82%. That's a domain that's landed. Your cost optimization might be 40%, 45%, 50%, or 48%. That's a domain that's stuck, and it needs more work and active recall. The rule that I followed is this. When every single domain is consistently hitting 80% or above across multiple mock exams, then you book your actual exam. And that's the system. Mock first, attack the gaps by domain, retrieval not recognition, book the exam based on data. But with that said, while the strategy is very simple, the execution is still a bit of a nightmare when you try to do it yourself. And that's why, even after watching this video, most people won't actually pull it off. And I know this because when I was doing this myself, I was losing 10 to 15 hours a week to admin and troubleshooting the process of learning and not actually spending time getting ready for my AWS exam. And for years, I kept asking the same question to myself. Why has nobody built one platform that does all of this for you? One tool that takes your mock exam first, then it identifies your weak domains, gives you focused material, and hammers it every day with retrieval, tracks your readiness by domain, and then tells you when you're actually ready to book the exam. And as it turns out, the answer is pretty simple. The people building most of these platforms that we use today have never actually sat an AWS exam or even worked in the industry. They've never been in our shoes to really understand the problems that we face and just how inefficient those courses are. They are built to get you consuming and paying for more courses, not to get you AWS certified. And I realized that because all of my colleagues at work were using these platforms, and they were all so shocked when I told them that I passed in 7 days and they've not even got past the first module. And that's why 2 years ago that I decided to stop waiting for someone else to build it, and I built a brand new platform myself with my engineering team. And it's called StudyTech.ai, where the top 1% of AWS learners are getting certified in weeks and not 6 months. StudyTech is the only platform in the world built around one idea: personalization. No more wasting your time on what you already know. Focus everything on what you don't know. The whole 4-step system that I just walk you through is built into it end to end, so all you have to do is show up. Here is how it works. The moment that you sign up, you pick the AWS certification that you're chasing. Before you study a single module, you take a skill assessment. That's your diagnostic. StudyTech breaks down your strengths and weaknesses across every domain of the exam on day 0. You might already be pushing 90% on resilient architectures and sitting 20% on, let's say, networking. The platform knows that before you even ever hit a lesson. From there, every time that you log in, there's a daily loop that takes you through a study session. StudyTech pulls a focused piece of learning material from your weakest domain. It teaches you what you need to know. You then get quizzed on it immediately while it still feels fresh. Anything that you miss or get wrong becomes a flashcard automatically, so you can come back to it later. No tab switching, no stitching together tools, no guessing what to study next. It's all decided for you, and most importantly, personalized all the way through. And every click, every answer, every flashcard feeds into your dashboard in real time. The more you start using the platform, the more personalized it gets onto you. You stop flying blind. You can see your domain scores climbing while you work. You know exactly which areas are strong, which ones are stuck, and StudyTech.ai guides you through every step of the way. Instead of wasting 20 hours troubleshooting the process of learning, you spend 20 hours working on your knowledge gaps. Can you see why the top 1% of AWS learners are passing in record time? It's easy when you've got a system that has everything that you need in one single place, built by an engineer who's actually AWS certified and actually understands the problems that you face when he's done it too. Because I've done it too. I was literally in your shoes a few years ago. I'm actually working in the industry. I've worked in the industry for over a decade, right? Now, once your domain scores start looking healthy, you'll unlock the ability to take the mock exam inside StudyTech directly. Mock exams are not behind another paywall or another platform that you have to pay for. Every mock exam that you take feeds back into your dashboard and sharpens the picture. Your exam readiness score updates on every attempt, and when every domain is consistently over 80%, StudyTech gives you the green light and you can go book your exam. No more guessing, just a data-driven approach that actually works. So if you want to get AWS certified in record time, then go check out StudyTech.ai, link in the description. We are running a big promotion and a big big discount on the yearly plan right now as a thank you for supporting my channel. So go on and sign up on the yearly plan before the code expires. As always, I'm rooting for you. Good luck.